Davey, a disappointing end again on Saturday. How do you pick the players up after another loss?
I think it's not just another loss, it's the manner of the another loss. So it's difficult, but again, I've said it all last year, and I said it at the start of this year. You need to manage on a game by game basis. Spoke to the players at the start of the season. I explained we're going to go through periods of the season like this. It's going to happen. I think it being in manner of the goals we've lost, probably not. But you're going to lose games of football. You're going to go on runs where you're not winning games of football. So I've expected this. That doesn't mean I'm going to accept it. But sorry, need to caveat that didn't sound right, did it? But I knew this period, there'd be a period in the season where this would happen. It doesn't mean we accept it, but we've spoke about it as a group, so you can only manage it on a game by game basis. If you're going to let the overhang of previous games eat into your energy in the next game, it's going to be a difficult season. So it's going to make a hard season even harder. So for me, it's just about managing game by game. That's the only way to manage. At kind of a smaller club in the Premiership, when winning games of football is extremely difficult.
There's obviously a big physical part of the game, Davey, but there's also a mental side. What's the message of support to get away from finishing games off in the negative?
The mentality side of it, obviously we all need to work on that individually, but as a group the message in here has got to be, the reason why I speak about a game at a time, because you're hopefully leaving the game previously's baggage behind, the negative momentum, the kind of adversity that game may create. You're kind of leaving that behind by managing on a game by game basis, but you've also got to accept it and own it and take accountability for that game. But for me, it's not about individual mistakes. I think we can make better decisions in the game. The last couple of games there's been poor decisions from within the game, which has affected the group, but I think as a group we've got to take that in the chin as a group. Yeah, it might be an individual that's made a bad choice in a moment in a game, but I think we've got to accept that as a group, because for me it's not about pointing fingers. That's the easiest thing in life. The easiest thing in life is to point a finger at somebody and blame somebody and look for others, blame me, whatever it is. But really I think whatever happens on the park is a group responsibility, and that's including the staff and myself, not just the 11 players that are on the park at that point in time. So we take the group take the negativity, the group take the positivity, and really for me that's the only way you can really approach the next game of football.
We got a run out against Partick in a bounce game. How important is it for these games for the players that maybe aren't get game time?
It's again really important, right? But it was good to bring some of the academy kids in. That was really good. That brings a smile to your face when you see them in there. I think we had a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old playing for us, and they were about, I don't even know if the two of them were 4 foot. But I don't know, it brings a smile to my face seeing that. But when we arranged these games, it was previous to Hibs, and then you come away for the Hibs game with 3 kind of forced substitutions within the Hibs game with Connor, Shane and Adam. So ideally it wasn't ideal coming into the Partick Thistle game, but I think there was a group of probably 5-6 first team players that's minutes have been limited for a variety of reasons that needed to try and get as much game time into their legs as possible, and we managed to do that. Good performance, but it keeps everybody so when the call comes and you need to use them within the game, they're ready to go, or they're in a better place than just kind of training. I think having competitive matches is important for the wider group. Maybe not so much the boys that have played a lot of minutes over the period of the last 4 weeks, but for the wider group I think it's really, really important.
Obviously we return back home to take on Hibs for the second time this season. 6 goals against and no goals scored. Are we looking at the guys at the top end of the park to give us a wee bit more?
This is the 3rd time, isn't it, we're playing a minute?
3 times.
I think the first one was at home. The first time we played top 6 opposition as a group for over a year. Because it's a new group, remember, you've got to remember that as well. I think the away game was really different from the home game. The away game, I think we shoot ourselves in the foot the first 2 goals. Poor, avoidable. And then I think the game just ran away from us at that point. And I mean this in the nicest possible way, and I've spoke to the boys about this, so it's not like that the group of players that ended that as a back 5 would never be the group of players that starts a game of football ideally as a back 5.
Yeah.
So you're kind of throwing people into positions and asking them to do jobs for you when ideally you shouldn't be having to do that. But the 3-4 substitutions within the game basically demanded that we do that. We've still got a couple of players that were out injured defensively anyway at that point. So I think to look at the top end of the park in the second game at Easter Road's really difficult, because I think the game ran away from us and we allowed the game to run away from us. First goal, disappointing. It's not us. It's not how we want to play. And the second goal's just really disappointing as a group. So I think at that point, the game ran away from us, and it was more about consolidation than trying to win the game at that point. But we had players out there playing in positions they shouldn't. Well, players playing in positions that ideally they wouldn't be starting in these positions if you had a full squad to choose from. So the top end, to look at the top end's a wee bit difficult if I'm really honest, because I think the game was away from us before you could actually have an impact in the game.
Obviously this game on Saturday has been moved. What was the thinking behind that?
I think Hibs came to us and offered us the schedule. So if you look at Hibs are playing Rangers on Wednesday night, so it's a bit of a no-brainer if a team comes to us to play within 48 hours of another game, and we've had the benefit of having a Saturday to Saturday. So the thinking behind that upstairs, it wasn't through choice. I think they offered that. They've got a big squad. They're obviously, I think they're more than capable of picking points up, albeit they've got a big game on Wednesday night. So the thinking behind it was a good time to try and play them. Opposed to maybe if you looked at further on down the fixture list, you could have been Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday when the opponent you've got and the Saturday's not played in the Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it's, to be honest, I don't like it. For us, we're getting the benefit of it from this point, but it's a fixture schedule I don't like. Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. Fair enough if both teams are in the same fixture schedule, I understand that, but it's a fixture schedule I don't like. It's not a game I would have been asking to play if we had a game on the Wednesday night and the opponent never had a game on the Saturday, so we need to try and use that to our advantage. So it came from Hibs rather than ourselves, but when they did offer that opportunity, I think at that point it was, we want to be playing as much as we can, and there's been a lot of stop-start with international breaks as well.
Yeah.
It's a part of the Premiership I don't enjoy. So again, getting a game in on a Saturday when you've got a free Saturday for me is a no-brainer.
Obviously, results aside, Davey, are you happy with the level of performances through the group, or is there levels that the squad can reach? I think we've discussed it.
I think, I'm not trying to paper over cracks, but I think the injuries haven't helped us. So try to find that continuity and consistency within the group's been difficult.
Yeah.
And then every game in the Premiership's hard. I've had this debate a couple of times, and anyone who feels that Livingston shouldn't be at the bottom end of the table after the return, I think they really need to have a different perspective on it, because it's where is that where we want to be? Of course it is. No, we've all got aspirations to be a wee bit higher in the league, but I knew it was going to be a difficult year. You look at, got new ownership in at not so long before the Ross County game.
Yeah.
And the ownership's trying to find money to put parts in, so it was quite a transitional period. And I spoke, and as a group, as a staff, we need to make sure we try and stay in the Premiership this year. And whatever happens over and above that, happens over and above that. I'm not really too honest, because I think the foundations are now there for the football club to progress. So I think with a Championship club coming up, and people caveat that with Falkirk, but they've had a lot more continuity and consistency in their group for previous years than ourselves have had. I think it's about making sure we stay in the league this year, because I think the following seasons, with the investment that is looking to come into the club, it should make the Premiership that little bit easier, that little bit more manageable going forward. I feel we've been fairly competitive in most games. Hibs game aside, Celtic game second half, over the course of the season, I've been fairly happy with a lot of the performances within the players. And I laugh sometimes, because we're in 10 games into the season, and if we were last year, St Johnstone beat us 1-0 in the cup, but we got a lot of plaudits for being competitive because we're playing Premiership opponents. we're only 10 games into the season, we're a newly promoted club, so I think there's going to be a wee bit of leeway there for the players as well.
Yeah.
I think we're still finding our feet a wee bit slightly, we're a wee bit naive at times. We're making decisions in the games that in probably a championship wouldn't come back and haunt you. But I do believe I've been fairly happy with a lot of the performances, but disappointed with the points return. But for me, that's life at this level. It's life at this level. There's that fine margins, and it's difficult to win games of football at this level. So I don't want to say I'm happy where we are, because I'm definitely not. The group, we're definitely not. But if I'm being really honest, there's a lot within the season that I've been fairly happy with, in terms of I feel we've been very competitive in a lot of games. Been a wee bit unlucky in games. You look at the VAR decision at Dundee, debatable that one, but I'm still on the fence, it's not a pen. There was one at Liverpool during the week there, it was on the Saturday at the weekend, exact same situation. And then VAR don't give a pen because the defender had already planted his foot and they never initiated the contact. So there's a wee bit of shooting ourselves in the foot, and just been a wee bit unlucky in games as well, because I don't think there's many games where I can realistically come away from it and go, I was really disappointed with that performance. There'll be moments in the games we can do better, but bar Celtic second half, Dundee first half, but then and the Hibs game at Easter Road, I think there's a lot to be fairly happy with in terms of how competitive we have been in games.
Obviously the big talking point at the moment, Dave, is Brendan leaving Celtic. Will there ever be a time at any club where there's no pressure on any manager at any point?
I think football's going the wrong way. Me personally, I think it's going the wrong way. I feel now you've got fans coming into games singing to sack managers. I don't know any walk of life what makes that acceptable. I feel it's just the hire and fire nature. I don't think it's beneficial for football clubs long term. I don't see the long term longevity there. I don't understand why we're kind of in that cycle. You look at some of the most successful clubs in the world, maybe even use ourselves. I think the continuity and consistency over the years has kept us very competitive over the years. We won a double promotion, won a cup last year on the back of a relegation year. Look at Sir Alex over the years, Klopp, Arteta. You look at Amarin at Man United now. You look at maybe Simmel. Relegation. So for me, it's too easy to hire and fire managers. And I think social media plays a big part in terms of the fans' mindset coming into games because of what they're maybe reading on social media. So I don't think we're in a good place. See if you consistently keep doing that. I think what you'll find is managers going into clubs needing short-term fixes. So see your academies and your pathways and your developing players, it kind of all gets thrown out the window, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's irrelevant. Because your success is based so much on the short term that the long-term objectives are thrown out the window. And as a manager coming in, you're probably going, I need money, I need better players. And then you're consistently, there's a couple of clubs now you can see that's happened with already. And I don't think we should be sitting here talking about managers. Look at Ange at Notts Forest. That's he turned the telly on and it was it 9 games, including cup?
Something like that, yeah.
And pundits actually saying, yeah, I'm not surprised he got sacked. 9 games.
I think even a wee bit closer to home, you probably wouldn't be facing David Gray if his start was, it was 10 winless games, and then his 11th he gets a last minute equaliser, I think it was, and then you're going amazing.
I just think clubs need to be careful. I think clubs need to be careful because you're going to attract the wrong. You're going to attract the wrong type of mindset into the football club, because if the short-term fix is what your job is solely based on, I think you're going to come in here and you go, if I was walking into a new position now, I'm not really bothered about pathways, I'm not bothered about academies, I'm not bothered about developing young players, I'm not bothered about any of that. All I'm bothered about is that salary. And then how do you improve that? Yeah, you can improve it with a bit of coaching. Yeah. Ange's never got time to improve that with a bit of coaching. So it's difficult. I think we're at a wee bit of a junction and crossroads, and I think something will need to change in football, because it's too easy for pundits and people that have not walked in your shoes to actually be highly critical of the job that's happening. It was funny because I was listening Sunday, and there's one narrative about the recruitment. It's not the manager's fault. And there's another narrative that it's the manager's fault. No, I think two of them go hand in hand, but I do think recruitment plays a huge part in it. But it's I don't know. I don't enjoy seeing that. I don't enjoy seeing it. I don't enjoy seeing managers lose their jobs 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games into the season. I don't think it's healthy for the game. I really don't. And see if caveat to say, see if fans were coming into games knowing that the manager was there. I think you can use Man United as that example. Do you ever hear Man United fans doing that with Ruben? You don't. Because Jim Ratcliffe's come out and said, he's here, I'll give him 3 years to build a team. So the fans are coming in with a different mindset. Then you maybe use football going wrong. Certain fan groups wanting managers sacked, thinking about getting managers sacked. So they're kind of having a negative impact on the club.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a difficult one. It's something I don't believe in. I feel continuity and consistency is the key message for football clubs for me.
And just finally, David, is there any update on any of the injured players that
Try to think who was out.
So you got Connor, Shane.
Connor's done a wee touchy running, but he's probably still a wee bit early, maybe. Adam's going to be 8 to 12 weeks. Shane's going to be 12 to 16 weeks. I'm trying to think what else.
Because I flipped that Chris has came back into the team, potentially Cammy Kerrs.
Cammy should be. Cammy potentially maybe a week to 10 days. Ryan McGowan, I don't want to talk too soon because it's going to be really player led with Ryan. He lay in a hospital bed for 23 days. So you're going to have to be careful. It wasn't a muscle injury as such. So it's not as if we've got a previous injury history to kind of work on that one. It's a grade 2C calf. You know it's going to be 2 to 4 weeks, but we've not got that. So Ryan's been in doing light gym work, so we'll try and progress him at a rate that's safe for Ryan. But I think we all agree that it would be great to get Ryan back in the park because I think we'll miss him. So Cammy, Ryan, Connor, they're not a million miles away, but Adam and Shane are going to be a turn of the year. Aiden's probably still on course for the turn of the year. So, but it's difficult. It's been a difficult period because we gained Joshua last week, but we lost 3 from the previous week. So it has been difficult. But I think life in the Premiership. I just think if you, I don't even think it's just us. I think if you look around a lot of clubs now, even use Celtic to an example, I think there's a lot of long-term muscle injuries happening within the game. And I think that's due to scheduling, but I also think it's due to the game loads. I think the game, I don't know you guys will be able to see it and all, but I definitely feel the game's got more intense, more physical, and it's got quicker. And that puts a huge demand on players' muscles. And then I think the modern match day squad, when I came into this season, I'd have been happy with 22, 23. I think now, being in the shoes again in the Premiership, I think I'd be looking at 26 to 28, and that's probably where we're sitting at. And sometimes you're still looking at your bench and going, we're lucky we had to pull Sam Colbert back for his cooperation agreement to fill the bench. So I think it's just a modern game. I think if you look around world football, I think you'll see a similar story all over because the game's just became so athletic now.